All right, well, Home Minister Amit Shah is in Siliguri. His visit to take stock of the region's security and fortification comes as the BJP government completes 100 days in power in West Bengal. And the message from Siliguri is clear. The BJP government is putting the strategic Siliguri corridor at the center of its security and infrastructure push. Mr. Shah has unveiled and laid the foundation for a series of SSB and border infrastructure projects, including a new administrative building, new camps and a smart fencing pilot. The centre has also pushed border fencing in the region, with the state government handing over more than 1,100 acres of land to the BSF to facilitate this fencing. Well, the big ticket projects include an administrative building on an 80-acre plot, SSB camps worth 189 crore rupees, the 20-kilometer Chalsa Naxalbari rail project, a 4-kilometer smart fencing pilot, and BSF fencing projects worth 27 crore rupees. Let's listen into what the Home Minister said.
इसलिए जब भी कुछ लोग मेरे पास आते हैं सीमा रक्षा करने वाले हमारे बलों के बारे में जानकारी लेने के लिए, तब मैं हमेशा कहता हूं कि सबसे कठिन काम मेरे एसएसबी के जवानों का है, क्योंकि वो खुली बॉर्डर की सुरक्षा करते हैं और पूरा देश आपके समन्वय को, सुरक्षा के प्रति आपके समर्पण को और दोनों मित्र देशों के साथ हमारे सांस्कृतिक लगाव को बढ़ाने के आपके जज्बे को बहुत अच्छे तरीके से जानता है और उसका सम्मान भी करता है। और मैं शुभेंदु जी की बुरी प्रशंसा करना चाहता हूं कि जब से वो आए हैं हमें सीमा सुरक्षा के लिए जो भी सहयोग चाहिए था गृह मंत्रालय को, हम सिर्फ फोन करते हैं, पत्र तो बाद में जाता है, पहले परमिशन मिल जाती। सरकार के गठन के 45 दिन के भीतर ही 1129 एकड़ भूमि जो हम 2014 से मांगते थे, हमें मिलती नहीं थी, बीएसएफ और एसएसबी के लिए 1129 एकड़ भूमि शुभेंदु जी ने दे दी। मित्रों, आज सीमांत मुख्यालय सिलीगुड़ी के प्रशासनिक भवन 80 एकड़ में स्थापित किया जाएगा। 19वीं वाहिनी ठाकुरगंज का भी शिलान्यास हुआ। 12वीं वाहिनी किशनगंज का भी शिलान्यास हुआ और परागमन शिविर न्यू जलपाईगुड़ी का भी आज शिलान्यास करने का काम हुआ है।
All right, an important fortification initiative by the government. Let's talk about this with our guest. Joining us on the show is Major General Rajan Kochar, Defence and Geopolitical Expert. General Ashwini Sivach, Defence and Geopolitical Expert, also joins us on the show. Mr. Rajesh Bhargava, former IGBSF, is also with us on the program. General Kochar, I'll begin with you. Well, you know, the chicken's neck has always been a very volatile, a very sensitive, a nerve that the government has always felt is perhaps open to enemy intentions. The kind of initiatives that we have spoken of today and the kind of work that is going to go into fortifying and protecting this particular vulnerability for India. How long ago, sir, do you think this should have been done, considering the fact that northeast states also come with a lot of volatility of their own?
Thank you, Vineet. I think it's a very, very good question because, see, you may have good relations with your neighboring countries. That doesn't mean that you go slow on your border security, thinking that those countries are our friends and they'll ensure that no terrorism or infiltration will happen from that side. So I think the things have started percolating now into the minds of the security thinkers of the government that this was a wrong policy to be adopted. Because you will give you reasons, and I'll take you the example of Bangladesh first. 4,096 square kilometers of border, 5 states are involved. Close to the 864 kilometers of the border is unfenced. And why now and why not before this fencing was done? Of course, that will remain a question. And out of this 864 kilometers, 174 kilometers cannot be fenced. So if you remove that 174, roughly around 700 kilometers of fencing is required, and it takes time. And fencing is only one part of it. I would like to speak on a larger concept, and the larger concept is BSF looks after Bangladesh, SSB looks after Nepal and Bhutan, and the ITBP and Indian Army looks after China. So you have 4 agencies working here. Now a terrorist or an infiltrator does not work on an organizational map that this is a BSF area, this is a IDP area. He is going to exploit the gaps between these agencies, because we are talking right now of fencing and gaps in the fencing. Yes, that is important, but the exploitation or the vulnerability is when you have 4 agencies working and you don't have a joint headquarters as such to monitor the functioning of the agency, like the Indian Army is under the MOD and remaining are under the Home Ministry. So we are having this sort of a problem. It is time India starts thinking on one border, one force, because you see, ultimately you will have to come to that, because a physical fence can be constructed, a fence can be infiltrated because it can be actually cut and it can be broken into and you can get inside. But what is most important is the surveillance aspects, reconnaissance aspects, ISR, intelligence aspects. So basically the ISR has to be augmented in this area, and smart fencing is okay. You see, the Israel incident which happened in October 2023, they also had smart fencing. But that smart fencing was not manned by that kind of a manpower which was required to ensure that once a smart fencing has been broken into, because you see today in the era of cyber and these kind of electronic warfare, all these smart fencing can become redundant if the enemy has the technology. So you cannot rely wholly on technology. Manpower is also very important. Surveillance is physical, actually surveillance is important. And my last point is human intelligence. We often overlook this aspect of human intelligence. And when you have 4 agencies working on a border, the kind of intelligence sharing as far as the human intelligence is concerned is a big problem. And this was actually faced in Jammu and Kashmir itself. Within the formations of the Indian Army itself, formations itself have their own network, and coordination between a brigade and the neighboring brigade itself is a problem. So I think there is a need for a larger perspective in the northeast. And last point is, you mentioned about Siliguri corridor. I think it is better to have some alternatives in mind, that supposing Siliguri corridor is compromised. I'll just give you a hypothetical example. What next? Do we have a logistic resilience, or do we have alternatives available to us? I think we should start working on those alternatives also, because Sun Tzu made one important statement. The line between disorder and order lies in logistics. And I, being a logistics man, I can tell you it's very important here, because Siliguri corridor provides you the replenishment, provides you the entire logistic lifeline for the Indian Army to fight. And it is not only during war, in peacetime also, these 8 states are going to be cut off if Siliguri corridor is compromised. So I think those are the issues which require a greater addressal. Vineet.
General Sivaj, while the government is taking care of a number of things, are there any elements or avenues, in your opinion, sir, that perhaps could use some modification in terms of the aspirations the government has when it comes to fortification of the Siliguri corridor?
Yeah, we need no doubt about it. See, there are 3-4 issues. One is that, basically that one border guarding force is guarding one border. That is basically, as far as Pakistan and Bangladesh border is concerned, it is BSF. And as far as the Chinese border is concerned, it is ITBP. As far as Nepal and Bhutan is concerned, it is SSB. And as far as the Myanmar border is concerned, it's basically the Assam Rifle. Now, having said that, there are gaps. There is no denying what the coach is telling. But what is happening is, why Siliguri is important is, that's a narrow patch. It's about 20 kilometers in narrowest place, which is connecting the mainland India with northeast state. And it's very vulnerable. It can be cut during the hostilities. If you remember in 2017, that the Chinese have come to the Doklam. Doklam is, though it is in Bhutan, but it's very important for us. And in case if they would have made road up to Japorji corridor, then they could have easily cut Siliguri corridor by their RT fire. So therefore, Siliguri corridor has to be now beefed up. What India is now doing, India has done 3-4 things. One is that we are now making airfield very close to the Siliguri corridor, which is Lachit Bora Phukan airfield, and then we have made 2 more garrisons. One is at Kishanganj and one is at Chhapra. Now, this is basically to beef up the strength of Siliguri corridor. And in addition to that, in case of hostility, obviously it can be cut. So what you need? Underground tunnels. Now you need underground tunnels for the railways as well as for the road communication, connecting this 20 kilometer of the patch. Also, your logistic hub center has to be underground, because in case of war, you will get lot of aerial bombardment. So this is what India is trying to now do it, to make sure that you are well off in case if the hostility take place. Second thing what we are doing is the fencing. I fully agree. What has happened is there are a number of gaps in fencing. Having commanded a battalion in Kokrajhar, Bogaigaon, and having stayed in Bhutan for almost 1 year, one knows it. What are these vulnerabilities? The vulnerabilities is the border is porous, and you find infiltration taking place, and especially the illegal infiltration, and also the terrorists which are trying to come, especially from Bangladesh. Rohingyas are trying to infiltrate. So therefore, there is a requirement of fencing to be done at the earliest. Earlier, the government of Assam was reluctant to give the land. The present government has already given more than 1100 acre land, and you need to make a smart fencing. In addition to smart fencing, there are a number of other things you need to do. Drones have to do, loitering ammunition has to be also there. Then you have to also see that it is not only 1 tier, it is 3 tier surveillance which we have to keep it. So India of late is trying to beef up this Siliguri corridor, which is vulnerable during war and also in emergency. Now, what is that which has now attracted the attention of India? It is because the present government in Bangladesh is now trying to get more support from the Chinese and the Pakistani. See the Lamni Hot air base, which is very close to Siliguri corridor, which is about 100 kilometers. This was in a state of disuse. It was made in 1931, extensively used in Second World War. It's been now revitalized. You find that airfield has been renovated. There are fighter aircraft there, and this is being done basically by Chinese. And also it has a footprints of Pakistan. So therefore, this is a cause of concern to us. Teesta water management project, which has been now given to Chinese, again very close to the Siliguri corridor. The Chinese footprints will be there, and same with the Mongla port. So therefore, the whole geostrategic scenario has changed, especially after Mohammad Yunus has come, and now the BNP government which has come, which is not pro-India. And there is a danger of militant groups which were once upon a time operating Chittagong Hill, and they were thrown away from there by Sheikh Hasina government, can again come up there, and therefore the fencing become more important. And this 1100 acre land which is given is a positive step, and we need to make our basically the fence at the earliest. Another very important point is, what do we do to cooperate with Bhutan and Nepal? Because this Siliguri corridor also is very close, because this patch is between the three countries, Nepal, Bhutan and Bangladesh. Now we cannot have very good relation with Bangladesh as the situation there. We have to make sure that Nepal and Bhutan, we have more interaction and beef up from that side also. One, that infiltration not able to take from Nepal going toward Bangladesh, and also that any Chinese aggression, especially from Bhutan, can be taken care of by making better defenses in Bhutan border itself. So this all projects are going simultaneously. I think the government of the day is alive and alert about the dangers which are now anticipated, and we are trying to now make it foolproof. Remember that in addition to this project which we are now talking, that we are going to make tunnels on, there is a Kaladan multimodal project which is going from Kolkata, going to Kuakapu in Myanmar, and then it follows the Kaladan river, and then after that a road connectivity to going to Aizawl. Now that project was made as an alternate route. Unfortunately, that work is going slow due to insurgency going in the southern part of Myanmar. But all said and done, a multi-pronged strategy is a requirement of the day, and Indian government is alive to this. And
Right,
one is extremely happy the way situations are fanning out, that the government is so alive that the situation will improve in time to come.
Right. Let me also, take a response from Mr. Bhargava as well. Mr. Bhargav, obviously the situation with Bangladesh and the support that Bangladesh has also gotten from China is a headache for India, and we need to account for that. So you're muted.
Even before, but after the exit of Sheikh Hasina government, the scenario totally changed, because of course it was a sensitive area, but still we were at least assured that nothing is going to come from the Bangladesh, though it was not a very friendly country, but at least we were assured that nothing drastically would happen. But now, after the new government which has come in Bangladesh, which is having very friendly relation with China as well as Pakistan, now the sensitivity of this corridor has gone up. Now the question comes, why there is so much of visit by Amit Shah and all these things. So you see now, as earlier said, there is ITBP on China border, SSB on Nepal border and Bhutan border, and the BSF towards the Bangladesh. So now there are 3 security agencies working in that very close area. A lot of coordination is required between them. Lot of streamlining of passage of information, because particularly between Nepal and Bangladesh, the passage is very narrow, and any miscreant could easily cross over from Nepal towards Bangladesh. And we have to see that he is not able to carry out his nefarious activity in that area and then go back to Nepal or go back to Bangladesh. And one thing more I would say, Nepal is a open playground. You see, all the neighboring countries, maybe China, maybe Bangladesh, even the Pakistan, they play in Nepal, they nurture their agents, they nurture their agencies in Nepal to create problem in India. That's why you see when there was insurgency in Northeast, though still it is there, and terrorism in Kashmir, many terrorists, they entered from Bangladesh, they entered from Nepal, or they could escape from the Nepal. So Nepal is still such a country where you cannot be assured of a very safe border. Second situation is, because the Nepal border is an open border, we cannot raise fencing there. No fencing can be raised because it's an open border, and the citizens of India can go to Nepal, from Nepal to India. So the SSB, of course, it is sitting there, but it is having a very tough task at its hand. On Bangladesh border, well, it is fenced, and the remaining part of it is going to be fenced. So we are at least assured that something is there. There is something, some obstacle which can stop the normal people from coming to India, or from going India to Bangladesh. But Nepal is an open border, and we have to see that it is protected properly. Now, regarding the China, because the China is also trying to exert its influence in that area. So now the eye of the China is on the entire northeast area, and that's why this area of Siliguri corridor, it has become very sensitive. And of course, during the wartime, the army is there, but when the army is not there, when the war is not there, then it is the BSF, SSB, or the ITBP. They have to ensure the sanctity of the border. They have to maintain the law and order. They have to maintain the peace, as well as they have to say that no anti-national activities they take place in that area. So that's the reason that now it has achieved so much of importance. The Indian government is paying so much of attention to this. Infrastructure is being created not only in this area for SSB, but also for the BSF, and of course on the China border they already are there. So now that is why the Amit Shah is there, I think, for creating the infrastructure and for the coordination between these forces which are guarding the border.
Absolutely, sir. We've run out of time, but I appreciate the feedback and inputs given by all our guests. We'll take a short break on that note. Be right back.